The M in smile stands for memorable, and memorable, it's people always say I want a memorable name, but how can you tell if your name is memorable, or what can you do to make your name memorable? You were just talking about Visage, or you couldn't remember it. What makes a name memorable is if it's rooted in the familiar, so it helps you remember it.
Hmm.
So, for instance, think of the company name Leapfrog. You hear that name in your head, you can associate it with something you already know, the childhood game of Leapfrog. Now,
Right.
if you're at a networking event and let's say you meet Lucinda from Leapfrog, you might forget her name 3 seconds after she says it because your brain doesn't have anything to latch onto. There's no association with Lucinda unless you know someone named Lucinda that you can associate it with. But Leapfrog, you'll have a much better chance of remembering.
Right.
And
Or
when
Lucinda, you might just remember because you can say, oh, Lucinda Leapfrog or Leapfrog Lucinda. If the name was Fred, it doesn't even have that both starting with an L, whatever you call that, going for it.
but you have, so Sky, you have the very rare instance of a name that people can remember because it's so unusual and they can picture it in their head.
It is a curse also because I don't remember anybody's name.
Right. Well, exactly. Yeah, I could see that being a problem in Cassidy, right? Like I was saying David Cassidy, Sean Cassidy. If you're of a certain age, like me, you can make that association. Most people don't have that. So you say Lucinda, oh, Lucinda Leapfrog L. No, no, no. If you have a name that's with an L, they're going to be, wait, was it Laura? Was it
Uh,
Lisa? And it's happened to you, right? You said you're bad with names. What did she say? I know it wasn't Laura or it was something unusual, but I can't remember. Was it Layla? So that's why it's important to have something that is rooted in the familiar. So when you hear these strange names, like, here's one for you. I'll just pick one out of my book. Vonigi. Here's another one. Favro.
are those
Xoyondo. These are all
bad
real
examples?
company names. Yeah.
Okay.
So, right. No, these are bad examples because there's nothing for your brain to latch onto. And what do any of those even mean? And believe it or not, all of those companies make scheduling software. But
Wow.
how would you know from a name like Favreau or Vonigi or
But
Xiondo?
nobody's going to be saying, what was the name of that nail salon in the Castro district again? Like, it's
Exactly.
called a hand job. You remember it's called. So is it really important that it's kind of a 1 degree of separation between
Yes, yes,
something in the
yes.
name and what they do?
Perfect way to describe it. I love that.
So not
Because
just you remember it, but it's related to what they, because you're going to remember what they do probably. And
yes,
then you want the
perfect
name to
way to
come from
describe
that.
it. 1 degree. You
Hmm.
don't go further than 1 degree. And a lot of companies make that mistake where they're getting too far away. And we'll get into that a little bit with Scratch. So, yeah, you want your name to be memorable.